Hey family, it is Friday. We made it through the end of the week by God's grace. A lot of people did not make it, and we need to be grateful. I think we take these little things for granted. Little things, I'm not really meaning that it's little, but it gets to be little because it happens every day. We expect to wake up, we expect to do our daily task or whatever, and come back home because it's always been happening. So we take these times for granted, but I'm praising the Most High God for His many blessings, as He doesn't have to do anything for us. We really treat the Lord like He owes us something, and we're the ones who owe Him everything. Well, anyway, my topic today is about abuse. And abuse comes in many forms. It could be physical, it could be mental, emotional, and even spiritual, because people will try to use the Bible to demand things from you or belittle you, and then misusing it. So there's a lot of people who don't even believe in the Word of God because of people's lies and misuse of it. So there's a lot of ways to be abused, and I just want to know if we are aware of what abuse even is. Abuse, I grew up seeing abuse, physical, and it wasn't a pleasant thing. I knew that when I grew up that I wasn't going to deal with that. And maybe that's why I'm more gung-ho as to making sure I'm not mistreated, because I know my worth. Going right over there? Okay. I know my worth, and I don't like pain. 2 reasons right there. I'm not going to be with somebody that's punching me around like I'm some kind of punching bag or I'm some man or something. I just don't understand the point of that. You can't make somebody love you or force them to do things your way. Little man, stop it. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. It's time to go to sleep, baby. So to be with somebody that's beating on you, even that first time, that first hit, that's it. I can't imagine staying with somebody. Come on, man. People in there loud playing music is so annoying. That's what happens when you want to record outside, huh? And I got my windows rolled down at that. And I'm fighting this little gentleman on top of it all. But there's abusive situations, man, that people are in. Even the way men talk to you. I'm not even just men. Women do the same thing to men. Women are horrible too. The way we talk to our men. I have heard women call men a B, a P word. I've seen them call them all kind of names. I've seen women hit the man and daring them to hit them back. And it goes both ways. It's not cool at all. However you look at it, abuse is never cool. People abuse because they want to control. That's what abuse is to me. It's a control mechanism, trying to get people to do things the way you want them to do it and keep them backed up in a corner, so that when you're ready to deal with them, they're just there for you and you only. Some people keep their spouses or lovers away from their family and everything. I don't want you around them because they don't want people to see the dirt that they're doing. So they want to hide that. So they keep you away from your loved ones and everything. It's really a tragic situation. My daughter and I were discussing it earlier, how a young lady from Jamaica was burned by her man. And she had to be airlifted out of there to get medical attention, proper medical attention, because they didn't have that type of they weren't equipped to deal with that type of burn. And I'm just sitting here saying, man, what an awful headspace you must be in to think that you got the right to control somebody to the point where you're going to kill them or ruin their lives if they don't do what you want them to do. It's amazing how demonically possessed people are, and that they will go through the lengths of doing such awful things to somebody. Or keep telling somebody, oh, you ugly, or you're fat, or nobody's going to want you. Nobody wants you but me. And these are all little devices and ways of them to keep you from leaving them, making you think that you can't do any better. And I'm saying this goes both ways. It's not just men doing this to women. Women are abusive too. Now, I remember my mom mentioning it to me because she had a friend. She was a big lady. And she told me she used to beat up her husband. I laughed because I thought it was funny, because I was young. And I had no idea that a woman could beat up a man. I'm like, why would he let her do that? And I also had no idea that men could be so messed up in the self-esteem area too, that they too would allow themselves to be put in that position. I thought it was funny, and it's not. A lot of men were brought up not to put their hands on a woman, and you got women beating on their men. And I I'm like, why would they let them do that? But I feel the same way about women allowing a man to do it. Now, we know the man is supposed to be the stronger sex physically, right? So we don't expect to hear a lot of abuse stories about women abusing men. But it's happening. It is horrible. Children are being abused as well. This desire to hurt someone, to inflict pain on other people, mentally, emotionally. People can do little things to you emotionally as well. You know, they could play on your mind and make you feel a way because they know what things hurt you. They can use those things against you to control you. There's so many ways to be abusive, and a lot of people are experiencing this, and a lot of people are sticking with these people because they say they love them. Now, people have affection and sexual lust for people, but you cannot possibly love somebody who's hurting you like that. It's not love. It's a distorted view of what love is. This person is not loving you because love is actually an action. It's not a feeling. It's an action. So they're not loving you. And for you to be in a relationship where a person is abusing you, you're not loving you either. And that's a lot of what the situation is. A lot of people do not love themselves, and we're seeking validation and love from other people, and you can't get that from people. That's something only the Most High God can give. And once you have that, you won't settle for less. So family, if you are in an abusive, anybody, male or female, if you are in an abusive relationship, please get out of it before it's too late. Now, I have no idea what it's like because I've never experienced that. So sometimes it's hard to hear somebody talking about a topic that they have no experience in, but I've seen it. And I've seen people get hurt, and it's horrible. I've heard horror stories. I was seeing one guy one time. We were not seeing each other, but we were talking, getting to know each other. And we were just laughing because we both were nice looking. He thought I was nice looking. I believed he was nice looking. He was nice looking. And we were on the phone laughing, going, well, why aren't you with anybody? What's your story? And in my head at the time, I always thought there were more good women in the world than there were good men. You know, we have a distorted view of things, especially when we're on the opposite side of things. And once I spoke to him, he enlightened me because he said, what make you think that? He said, it's hard to find a good woman. It's just as hard to find a good woman as it is to find a good man. And I said, really? Because I know a lot of women that were educated, not so much the education, not just that, but women are trying to fulfill goals, and most of the time they're faithful. You know, we're always dutiful, always want to take care of our man. And I knew a lot of women that fit that bill, but I didn't know a lot of men that fit that bill. Not that I know everyone in the world, but what he was sharing with me was that a lot of us are messed up emotionally and mentally because we've been hurt before. And I'm like, wow, that's deep. And so because of that, when you do come across a good man, you don't even know how to deal with him. You know, some of us are used to the rough guys that treat us badly. And he was showing me that part, that's what he has to deal with. He told me he was dating a lady who was in an abusive relationship before him. She broke up with the guy. He was out with the woman, and the guy followed them. He shot and killed that woman in front of him. I'm like, oh my God. So he was asking me, he said, you have any stalkers? And, you know, he was trying to just prepare himself because he was like, he said that was traumatic for him. So it's like these men and women feel like if you're not going to be with them, then they would rather see you dead, and they will kill you to keep you from moving on. It's really sad, and it's insane. It's really scary because now meeting someone, you can't tell upon looking at somebody if that's where, you know, their head is at. You cannot tell. And a lot of times we base meeting somebody on an attraction, you know, what they look like, and you know how they're sexy, or their body shape, or whatever it is you adore about the opposite sex. That pulls you in at first, and it makes sense because we have eyes. But once you sit and talk to someone and get to know who they are, see who they hang out with, get to know their family members, try to do a little more digging before you just jump in head first, especially getting sexual with somebody, because a lot of times once we become sexual, people feel like they own you and they have a right to you at any time, any way, and they just feel like this is ownership now because we done been together. And that can go both ways. Women feel the same way. A lot of us move too fast, and then we think this guy owes us something. And no, it doesn't happen like that. And a lot of men, they're the obsessive type. Once you're with them, they think they own you as well. So it's just really pretty scary. I believe great relationships can still be had because there's a lot of God-fearing people who are level-headed and have good sense and know that there are boundaries in life. But then on the other side of the coin, there's people who don't have any boundaries, none at all. It's whatever they feel like doing, they just do it. And that's the scary thing. So take your time getting to know people. Go slow, move slow. All of this running around meeting people and just laying with them like that, it's a scary thing to do, and it's a risky thing to do, and it's not godly. And that's the thing that I always try to push. I'm not a robot. I'm human. I have a past. I am 53. So what I share is wisdom because I've had experiences myself. And we have to be very careful. You don't run around just giving yourself to people like that. You got to get to know people. We're living in a scary world, and caution need to be had. So family, this is what I'm sharing today. I have more to share, and I'll do that at a later date. I love you all. Peace, love, and blessings, and be careful.